Northern Ireland, home to County Derry, a place infamous for its role in the Troubles and its high rates of suicide. Even though the bloodshed is over, for those alive 20 years later, this post-conflict society faces a new kind of warfare.
Go!
What am I supposed to be doing?
Dance!
No!
Go!
Always dance.
Just go.
If you met Zachary once, you didn't forget him. The first thing that I thought was he'd done a runner, he's gone missing, but he's okay, he'll just be back and we'll go nuts at him, but he'll be okay. And then whenever I got up to the house, I knew whatever way his sister reacted to seeing me would confirm whether he was missing or he was gone. And Yasmin gave me a hug and I knew.
I opened the door and Yasmin said he's gone, and I think in my head, and I think my response was just like, what? And so we sat in the back living room with his mummy, his sister, and Molly's mummy was in the room, and it wasn't until I saw Molly that I was like, shit, this is real. And then I think we just held each other and we cried.
The big thing that I say we should always be looking out for, so we have a standard lists that are out there, but the big thing is look out for a change in a person. And if you notice that someone's not themselves, someone who's talking about feeling low, isolating themselves, misusing alcohol or drugs, we need to find the courage within ourselves to check in with them.
He had low points. He would feel like he's let his family and friends down by whatever event had happened during that time that made him feel so low, and he would feel like he disappointed us and he would feel guilty for making us worry. So he would stop all communication for a while, and maybe looking back I would have pushed more and tried to contact him more.
That we need to be very strong and encouraging people to seek out help, but also to recognise that when bad things happen to us, it will have an impact on our mood and our ability to function, and that is the way that we need to be at that time, but we also need to get the appropriate support to help us.
I think men find it difficult because they seem to think that it's embarrassing to talk about how they feel or what's affecting them in their lives. They seem to think that they have to cover up and put up a mask. And you're right, it is amongst men. I was reading figures recently and it's stark. People within the community that I know that you'd never believe are suffering in the way that they are behind a mask, that are afraid to come out and speak about the issues that are affecting them, or afraid to seek the help. And even when they do seek that necessary help that's there and do get it, they don't always be as honest with the person they're talking to or themselves because they don't feel comfortable in that situation. So it's about challenging the stigma, and there is a stigma that exists and that continues to exist, but this is not something that just affects one or two people, it affects each and every person. And when society gets a grasp of that reality and how difficult that is for any one person to go through, then we'll truly get somewhere.
They may feel that people think that less of them because they're seeking mental health support. But there also there can be a fear of what may come out from it, that others may think that they're crazy. I suppose when anyone would have come to see me, the big thing I would have tried to help them understand is when you hear the story of this person, you help them realise that anyone that would find themselves in that situation would be feeling the exact same way. So actually their reactions are quite normal to what may be an abnormal situation for them. And once people realise that their thoughts and feelings and behaviour are actually quite understandable, that takes a lot of fear away.
That photo of Zachary shows a very beautiful person, innocent, happy. Look on the outside to people that didn't know him, he looks like he is happy, but to people who knew him well, there was always an underlying sadness. If you think of somebody who has depression, anxiety, you might not think he'll look like that. You might not think that somebody that beautiful or who is a model, goes to the best art university in the world, second Dan black belt, has accomplished half of what he has, be so low. Like, people might think, what do they have to be low about? But it's not about that. He had all this going for him, and people need to realise that it's not just people who look like they're in the rut are in the rut. People who look like him, have a personality like him, can still be affected by this.
Just because someone looks well doesn't mean they're well. People are covering up quite a lot. The difficulty is that the system is failing. It's not just failing in mental health services, it's also failing when it comes to GPs, because we can't get to see a doctor on time, and time is of the essence when it comes to mental health, because often people are making decisions when they're not in their right state of mind.
The mental health system in Northern Ireland really needs some sort of robust funding, and also some kind of some major overhaul and changes. I think generally speaking, the political system in Northern Ireland really holds back evolving of mental health systems, and it's kind of the healthcare system in general.
In Strabane, if we're going to be parochial about this, in Strabane itself, there's only a psychiatrist there a half a day a week. Half a day out of 7 days. That is absolutely despicable. It's costing lives. People are ending their lives. People can't get their GPs because there's no out-of-hours system. So the whole system is broken. The health service in itself is broken, but mental health services have been abandoned for a long, long time. And this is an issue that is getting much worse.
Dr. Siobhan O'Neill of Ulster University carried out groundbreaking research on the relationship of PTSD and suicide. The study proved that those who had their childhood throughout the Troubles had higher risk of suicidal ideation. The report states that adversities in childhood is often predictive of adversities later in life.
There's a lot of people who have been impacted by the Troubles that are still experiencing some of the trauma, and we are seeing that one of the highest rates of suicide, particularly here in Northern Ireland, is in the 35 to 44 age group. So those people would have been impacted by the Troubles.
I think we're now starting to see and understand the kind of the links between mental health and history in terms of people's hereditary kind of history, so stuff that might have gone on biologically between kind of generations of a family.
And let's not forget that we live in a society that is still haunted by the legacy of the Troubles and the difficult days that passed there. There's many people, particularly men in their 40s and women, that have been affected all those years ago that have never got to talk about it or express how it's affected their lives.
Figures revealed by the Irish News show that more people have died from suicide since the Good Friday Agreement than died in the Troubles. Today, Northern Ireland seeks a future that talks openly about mental illness, creating new strategies to reduce stigma and improve the identification and response towards suicide, in the hope that a once divided nation can come together and save lives.
You kind of do it when you're at a crossroads in your life, so this way or that way, and you rub it all around and you get the negative energy off, and then you throw it.
Larger than life. He really was larger than life.
Like, what greater first love to have than Zachary? Like, he's just, like, don't think I could describe him. Like, it's just, oh.
I remember several years ago going to a children's therapy session in Baton Rouge in Louisiana, and the kids were running down the corridor laughing because they couldn't wait to get the therapy. Now that's the way therapy should be. People looking forward to getting it rather than fearing it.